when you check CoinMarketCap. Yeah, I thought I'd voice illustrate this intro. I'm sure we'll be seeing more from her later on in the episode. So then it seems that my departure always precipitates a downward market trend, and my return always precipitates... What does precipitate mean? Cause an event or situation? Okay. My return always causes a recovery. Now, the only logical explanation, the only one, and I've thought about this for several minutes, and that is that all of you, or potentially a high percentage of you, are billionaires. And so that's cool. Just try not to sell so much when I'm away. Before we get into today's market overview, recap, whatever you want to call it, I do have a job opportunity for cryptocurrency writers if you think you fit the bill. Details are down below. Check it out. As far as the market goes, doesn't seem to have changed very much in the last 24 hours, but there is quite a lot of news to cover, as well as an ICO review at the end of this episode. Everything is timestamped below, so you can fast forward and skip some cool stuff like this. So looking at EOS, the mainnet launch is tomorrow. I don't really expect any price action. I could be wrong, but most people have known about the mainnet launching for at least a year now, so it's hardly new news. They have, however, I don't know if it's in response to some FUD that's recently been thrown at EOS. Probably not, but there is a bug bounty program going on. Apparently some bugs have already been found, so here's looking for that to be taken care of and be more stable once the mainnet launches here. They don't need a Verge attack or anything like that. As far as mainnets go, Trons is now live. And unsurprisingly, there has been no pump. These types of news are already priced in. People know about it for a long time. There's no reason why a mainnet launch shouldn't already be priced in. I'm not saying it's a bad investment now, but I'm not saying it's a good one either. Looking at Populous next, they have announced a partnership with a cryptocurrency that has a working wallet known as Kasha. So now, if you have Populous tokens, you are now able to use the Kasha wallet to store them, as far as I'm aware. Be careful when sending funds, though. Only send one at a time. Make sure it gets there, then send the rest of your funds. As far as Kasha goes, they are, as far as I'm aware, distributing $15 million worth of tokens, unsold tokens. For every one Kasha token, I think 0.7 Kasha tokens are being distributed. This has caused quite a price increase in the recent weeks. I'm not sure exactly why more supply, but obviously people wanting to get those token drops. They will continue to about June 5th. I'm not sure if it's too late to get involved in that, but I'll leave links down below about it. Looking at Storica, the biggest gainer of today, even currently. Now, you know it's big when I cover it and it's still pumping. This did peak, though, at over 180% gains today, currently at 93. Why? That's a good question. The massive volume is from the Indonesian exchange. Indonex? Indonesian? Yeah, Indonesian. You can see $68 million worth, and the next biggest hit BTC, a US exchange, as far as I'm aware, $8 million. As far as news goes, Storica just released the beta version of their marketplace platform, which does allow buying and selling of goods with cryptocurrencies. Next up is Medi Block, which sees over 10% gains today. There is a snapshot of the blockchain taking place in a couple of hours from now. As of recording this, double check just in case when you're watching this, if you want to get involved. There is a token drop of MEDX tokens for a 1-to-1 ratio. Your tokens need to be on a supported exchange or in the Qtum Core wallet in order to be eligible to receive token drops. Does seem like people like their free tokens. Do you remember the big announcement by Metal yesterday? I think there was two big announcements of announcements. They have announced what their announcement was. It's a lot of announcements. Today's special announcement, teased yesterday, was their first acquisition called Crumbs. Crumbs is an investing platform that allows users to set aside spare change from daily crypto purchases and use it to create a digital assets portfolio. Now, I don't know if this is the first time ever, but I guess it was a kind of a low-ranked coin anyway. Oyster has their mainnet launch and actually sees a price increase on that day. So there you go. That's the reason for it. All right, that's it for my market review. If that's all you're here for, I'll see you again tomorrow. If you are interested in an ICO review, we're looking at Pharma Trust today. This is a sponsored interview. Not an interview, sponsored review. However, there has been multiple writers, multiple people giving input to what I'm about to say. So it's as unbiased as possible, at least from my end, but don't trust me. Do your own research. Maybe contact the team yourselves. You know, they're available. You can do that. Be very careful when it comes to investing your own money. With that said, let's get into it. Timestamps below if you just want to rush to the end to get the star rating or whatever. But let's get into it. So what is Pharma Trust? Let's take a look at the website. It scores a lot of points. It's very neatly done. It looks quite good. But anyway, Pharma Trust wants to be the system of choice for pharmaceutical supply chains. Now, there's a lot of supply chains in cryptocurrency, even a few in the pharmacy. But again, it's one of those situations where the blockchain is actually quite efficient for what they're wanting to do with it. Supply chains, blockchain is the future, in my opinion. Pharmaceuticals especially are apt to be on the blockchain because apparently up to 30% of all pharmaceuticals in circulation worldwide are actually counterfeits, which is incredibly dangerous. Not only can you get like weird side effects from getting the wrong medication, but you're actually getting worse because you're not getting treatment for your existing conditions, and a blockchain would facilitate. Despite efforts by pharmaceutical companies to try and make it easier for counterfeit products to be detected, it's still a big rampant problem. And so that's where Pharma Trust comes in. You can kind of see the point. They want to verify and track products across all pharmaceutical supply chains. Manufacturers, distributors provide a reporting system for all entities, governments, regulators, retailers, consumers, and ad services, make them more efficient, etc. It's a really good idea. You will obviously need a ton of partnerships for that to make it work, especially governmental ones. As far as the team goes that is going to try and make that happen, is a very robust team. There's 8 members, 11 advisors. 10 of them have lots of high education and substantial business experience that is in this sector. So great team, 5 out of 5 team in my opinion. All right, details of the crowd sale now. Let's get into it. Let's talk about those coins. Whitelist registration, as far as I'm aware, is currently open for the next couple of days. There's a 20% discount if you are involved in that first pre-sale, after which I believe each token will be 5 cents. So they're currently going for 4 cents. There's 1 billion tokens minted on the blockchain, 60% of which are being sold at ICO. So if we're going to take a look at them at 5 cents each, that puts Pharma Trust straight out of the gates with a market cap of 50 million. Where that means, what kind of returns you could expect with a market cap of 50 million, really hard to say. The best way to look at it is to look at what the competitors have done. You've got, well, you could say VeChain. VeChain is one of those that does have the partnerships. So top 20, market cap of about 2 billion, which is about 40 times more. Kind of a tall order to live up to. All right, let's talk about some of the potential weaker sides of the ICO. So according to the white paper, they do have a working product. However, it does also mention in the white paper that you are unable to test it. It's currently undergoing private testing only, but hopefully they do plan to release the product, the platform, before the ICO ends, which is nice to see. The white paper also says about the platform that is able to handle millions of transactions using various techniques. I guess detractors would point to that and say that that's kind of an outlandish claim to make, but I guess we'll see. As far as partners go, no official statements on partnerships yet. Pharma Trust claims it is actively trying to sign agreements, formal partnerships with international pharmaceutical companies, government and law enforcement organizations, but doesn't seem that any has materialized as of yet. And as far as competitors go, we've already talked about VeChain. There's Walton Chain and there's Modem. These are some of the biggest competitors within the blockchain space, although this one is tackling pharmaceuticals more specifically. There could be room for all three, who knows. All right, so a final rating, if you managed to get this far, well done. Presentation, I give it a 4 out of 5. Decent website, great media presence, demos and interview videos, readily available. Loses a point because a short white paper, it lacks some technical details. It lacks some details about the business strategy. I'd give the project a high 2, maybe 3 out of 5. The ICO gets points for only a 20 million hard cap. Is still pretty high, but 20 million is I suppose, is as good as we're going to get these days. Loses points because lots of competitors. The minimum working product not out yet, but product release, the full version is planned for Q2 2019, and obviously loses some points because of a lack of partnerships. The team, as I say, gets a 5 out of 5. So my final rating would be a high 3, 4 out of 5. It seems like a great idea, solid team. I do recommend you contacting Pharma Trust, getting your own knowledge, researching it, potentially waiting to be able to test it before investing. But yeah, hope that was interesting. Hope you found that useful. Well, I feel like I talked a lot there.